This year's Korean BLs have been a total game of roulette. Either they're masterpieces, or the writers forgot to execute the plot beautifully. Today, we are breaking down the shows that completely caught me off guard, from the hidden gems to the total letdowns. If I missed any of your favorites, let me know in the comments below. Without further ado, let's get started. Beginning our list with The Lie We Lived In. From the moment the official trailer for The Lie We Lived In dropped, it completely grabbed my attention by refusing to be just another sugar-sweet show. While Korean BLs usually corner the market on adorable wholesome romances, this one chose psychological violence and dove straight into the dark side. The first 6 episodes were an absolute trip, packing incredible main couple chemistry and a plot twist that genuinely shook me. Granted, the final 2 episodes felt a bit rushed. I desperately needed a few more light-hearted moments to balance out the pitch black tone, but it didn't ruin the ride. Let's be real, I originally tuned in solely because the cast is violently attractive, but I stayed because the storyline actually had me in a chokehold. That said, our main detective was so painfully indecisive that I'm still not entirely convinced he ever actually graduated from the police academy based on his on-screen performance. Fortunately, what he lacked in basic law enforcement skills, he made up for in raw magnetism. The man had such top-notch chemistry with the entire cast that he could have successfully romanced a brick wall, though obviously, his actual endgame partner was the right choice. Despite its imperfections, I truly love the series, and it's a solid recommendation for anyone looking for a high-stakes binge. The Lie We Lived In follows the story of contract killer Sowell, who holds his target captive while posing as the man's brother to deceive an arriving detective. As the two share a tense cohabitation, a dangerous mutual attraction develops, forcing Edu to choose between completing his mission or risking everything for the man hunting the truth. Next up is The Prosecutor's Proposal. Frankly, I need to file a formal complaint because this show has no business living this completely rent-free in my head after only 2 episodes. The tension between the main characters is so ridiculously loud it's practically screaming through the screen, making this mystery romance combo an absolute health hazard for anyone who forgets to breathe while watching. The acting performances are incredibly believable already, which honestly just terrifies me because I know the upcoming episodes are going to absolutely wreck us once the plot twists start dropping and we finally hit the climax. Also, can we talk about the latest episode? It literally had me laughing out loud at the sheer audacity of the enemies to lovers trope. What do you mean you hate him, but you are still out here devouring him with your eyes and eating him up at the same time? The math is not mathing, but the chemistry absolutely is. That being said, I am keeping my guard up because it's obvious these two are still hoarding a massive vault of crucial shady secrets about their pasts. The show did a masterclass job of laying down the plot grid in just 1 week, and after that final scene in episode 2, the romance is about to get dangerously beautifully messy. The Prosecutor's Proposal follows the story of the son of a murder victim and the son of the killer who reunite as a prosecutor and an investigator to expose a massive web of corruption while becoming each other's fatal weakness and salvation. Also included on our list, Always Meet Again. Honestly, diving into Always Meet Again has been a total emotional rollercoaster because while the lead's chemistry is an absolute 10, the actual plot logic completely left the building. On the bright side, I am completely obsessed with the stunning high-budget cinematography and those intense lingering looks between the main couple that don't even need words to convey pure longing. However, I found myself cracking up trying to make sense of the messy time travel rules, not to mention that completely random color blindness subplot that was just casually dropped and never explained. By the time the finale rolled around, the whole thing became so rushed and abstract that I spent less time crying over the romance and more time aggressively googling to see if anyone else actually understood what just happened. Still, even with its chaotic flaws and that absolute head-scratcher of an ending, the cozy nostalgia and the gorgeous cast made it an incredibly entertaining ride that I'm still glad I jumped on. Always Meet Again follows the story of a painter who unexpectedly time travels back to his high school days and reunites with his first love, giving them both a second chance to rewrite their fate. The fourth spot on our list, Love Class Season 3. I did not expect Love Class Season 3 to throw me straight into the stressful world of K-pop idols, but I am honestly living for this whole trainee romance setup. The styling is an absolute serve, and I've quickly found myself far more obsessed with the secondary couple, Kun and Jaemin, than the main leads. However, the runtime of these episodes is so criminally short that I feel like I blink and the entire week's content is already over. It's also slightly testing my patience with a few confusing flashbacks and those classic frustrating miscommunications that could be solved if they just texted each other back. Even with the chaotic editing and quirky comedy sound effects, the pure charm of the cast keeps me completely hooked every single week. Love Class Season 3 follows the story of reunited former trainees and fellow idols navigating their complicated, lingering feelings under the risky spotlight of the entertainment industry. A short BL series on our list, Laundry Romance. I'm always a sucker for a cozy slice of life setup, so Laundry Romance immediately reeled me in with its super endearing mature leads and their incredibly natural late night flirting. The chemistry between Jaemin and Ji Seok is honestly so sweet, and I love how realistically the show captured the heavy relatable anxiety of being an unemployed job seeker. However, I was practically screaming at my screen because the episodes are a criminally short 8 minutes long, yet the editors still insisted on wasting precious seconds with massive recap flashbacks. On top of that, the low-budget production quirks, like adding generic bar background noise to a location that clearly wasn't a bar and that random ominous line about not having much time left gave me a total anxiety attack. But even though it wrapped up so fast it left me wishing for way more depth. Binging this entire bite-sized romance in under half an hour was still a thoroughly comforting ride. Laundry Romance follows the story of an anxious job seeker and a voluntarily unemployed man who find a healing romance during late-night encounters at a coin laundromat. The sixth spot on our list, Backdoor. I honestly wasn't expecting much from a tiny 4-episode web series, but Backdoor completely caught me off guard with how fast its messy nepotism-fueled office romance moves. For a suck film production, the visuals and cinematography feel like a massive step up, and I love how they actually deliver a plot-heavy corporate drama with genuine tension right out of the gate. However, navigating their chaotic YouTube uploading schedule and sudden member-only lockouts felt like an absolute extreme sport. It's also slightly frustrating that the entire thing is only 4 episodes long, leaving me with a serious case of story whiplash and way too many unanswered questions by the finale. But even though it wraps up way too quickly, the undeniable on-screen chemistry and addictive pacing make it a thoroughly entertaining ride that I'm glad I didn't skip. Backdoor follows the story of Do-yoon, who enters a tense office romance after learning that the anonymous stranger who saved his career is the privileged rookie he despises most. A fantasy Korean BL on our list, Check Into You. Leaving my logical brain at the door was the best decision I made before starting Check Into You, because this wacky body-swapping guest house comedy is such an effortless cozy watch. The absolute highlight for me is definitely the lead actors, who do a phenomenal job channeling each other's opposite personalities, going from a cold corporate control freak to a romantic softie in a heartbeat. That being said, trying to process the romance while they're literally trapped in each other's bodies gets incredibly bizarre, leaving me wondering if it's even legal to flirt with your own physical form. With only 6 bite-sized episodes under 10 minutes each, I felt the pacing was way too rushed to give them proper relationship development, leading to a hilariously silly ending that left me a bit dizzy. Still, even if I have to completely overlook the low budget and total lack of scientific logic, the beautiful beach scenery and pure comedic charm make it a perfect low commitment palate cleanser. Check Into You follows the story of a cold-hearted perfectionist and a warm-hearted romanticist who accidentally swap bodies and unexpectedly fall in love while being forced to live each other's lives. And those are the Korean BL series I have seen this year. Which Korean BL series do you think would dominate our 2026 list? Thank you for watching. That's it and see you on the next one.